So I saw an article in USA Today that really caught my eye. Parasite cleanses are growing in popularity, but are they safe? Let's talk about this on Azimuth Podcast. I'm Barrett McNabb, and with me is Kimberly McNabb. So as I'm looking at this article before I read it, it really looks like it's people that are potentially eating parasites in order to cleanse their body of toxins, and
lose weight,
and so I know that the audience is like, well, how is that even possible? Because it used to happen in the past, and the very first thing that popped in my head are Victorian era parties that were occurring in England, where, like, similar to a Tupperware party or a Botox party, women would get together and they would eat tapeworms, live tapeworms, in order to have those parasites go into their digestive system and then help them lose weight. And so, because past is prologue, that immediately came to mind.
Yeah, let's learn from the era in which people used to put leeches on people
exactly.
for medical treatment. I mean, I don't know. I'm weird. Not that we can do it, but I wouldn't even do Botox just because it is a toxin, poison, whatever you want to call it. And when you first mentioned the headline to me, I was like, oh God, this is the danger of erasing history. You know, people don't understand the full story behind something, some of these moral dilemmas that we have going on, and then you end up with these morons cheering for Hamas and people on social media praising Osama bin Laden, of all things. So that's what I first saw when you told me this title.
Right. And again, I was just taken aback because I saw the title and I was like, you have got to be kidding me, because, obviously we have all these weight loss drugs and all these fads that are going on TikTok. And I literally was like, people are eating parasites again. And I don't know why it's a random fact that I knew that from history, that Victorian era, ladies would do these tapeworm parties. But anyway, when you're talking about a parasite, it goes inside your body and it lives off of you, providing no benefit. So it's not a symbiotic relationship. It's literally they are taking nutrients from your body, and usually it's to your detriment. In this case, the tapeworm, you're losing weight, but you can obviously die from that. But so anyway, as I read the article, and it talks about a parasite cleanse, it actually is people taking drinks and supplements in order to cleanse them and rid the body of parasites. And then I finally was like, okay, this makes way more sense. But the title, again, it caught me off guard. And as these products are not really regulated by the FDA,
no supplement is. So keep that in mind, people.
And so what are some of these ingredients that these drinks that people are selling in order to rid yourself of parasites, like wormwood and things like various herbs, charcoal, carbon inside some of these things. And again, the ingredient list is varied, and there's no proof any of this stuff works. And so it's kind of interesting that it was geared towards, and I could see it. I could see it if it was geared towards like a third world country where the risk of parasites is real and common. But it's not. It's marketed to hipster, millennials that are here in the United States.
First world country people who are probably going to die more from over-treatment with their hypochondria than anything else.
Exactly. So, I mean, so who this cleanse would actually be for, they're missing the market. I would think that third world countries would be more advantageous to have those parasites where it could potentially work. But again, it's so uncommon here. I mean, you have to really do something dumb, like the family that ate bear meat and made it medium, or made it rare bear meat, and the family got sick. Or the same thing, if you're not cooking your chicken, you can get salmonella poisoning. We do see instances of various produce, oftentimes from other countries, that come to the United States and have salmonella or some type of contagion on them and stuff like that. But on the by and by, you're not seeing the massive parasites like worms and things like that you're seeing in third world countries.
There is the occasional case that you may see on some medical drama where
Sure.
someone, is an avid sushi lover, and then they,
Right.
find the 6 foot long worm after the person has a cardiac arrest or something. But all this reminds me of the probiotic or prebiotic, however you say it, a drink that I got the other day at Central Market. And it was not because I was deliberately searching for a probiotic drink. I was just looking for something that had low calories but more flavorful than water. And so then you said that the company of the manufacturer of the drink got in trouble because they didn't list like how much probiotic was in there. And I'm like, well,
Because again, that's not regulated.
exactly. Also, I mean, it's like, how much would you need anyway, So you just have no idea. So it's just kind of like a little boost, but I wouldn't make it the whole point of buying that drink.
Yeah, I mean, you have the probiotics and the prebiotics, and I think one of them is to feed bacteria. One of them is to introduce bacteria, and that actually kind of reminded me of a story. My great aunt and her friend were avid travelers, and they went to Africa, and both of them had contracted. I'm not going to make it up, but some type of major bacterial infection in their digestive tract, and so they were extremely ill. And this was 40 years ago, at a minimum 40 years ago. And the physician that they went to gave them an antibiotic that literally wiped out all bacteria in their digestive tract, good, bad, ugly, cute. Everything was gone, just completely wiped out all of the flora and fauna in their digestive tract. Now, obviously, we have good bacteria in our digestive tract that helps us digest various foods, but still killed everything. And then she had to take additional medicine to reintroduce those good bacteria into her system. And I just remember her telling me that story, and so it kind of stuck with me with this, that obviously you're wanting to, these prebiotics and probiotics, and, it's a huge advertising gig that is not regulated, and that people aren't accountable for how many grams of these materials that they're putting in. And obviously, eating a well-balanced diet that has fiber, which is good food for these beneficial bacteria, is good. But still, in talking about this bacteria stuff, the parasites were just absolutely crazy. And so for this to be supposedly a big enough need, because that's often when products come, they solve a problem, I think it's definitely marketed to the wrong nation.
Well, if you're in Africa, I think you need the real stuff.
I
like
agree.
your aunt got prescribed an antibiotic and the probiotic, whatever, introducing the good bacteria into the system. I've been on antibiotics a couple times, but never got prescribed anything to restore the gut health.
Right.
So I'm just curious, what on earth?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was young.
prescribed originally, but these are just a bunch of hypochondriacs that just want to do some fad because they're bored and think, oh, something might be wrong with me. I mean, if you really think something's wrong with you, go to a freaking doctor, because these things can kill you.
Yeah. I mean, we were at a playground, and the kids were digging in the playground and everything, and I looked down and saw a white little worm about, 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters.
They
and I took a picture with Google, and that this is the age of technology that we live in. So you open the Google app, you take a picture, and it tells you what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in this
it matched the description.
And it matched the description, and it was pinworms, and so we immediately pull our children out, and we took them to the doctor.
Yeah, within a week I had them at the doctor, and I had seen a couple medical dramas. I forget if it was House or The Resident or something like that, but a child had come into contact with pinworms. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, crap. And just remembering all the things that happened to these people. So, just as a measure of precaution, we told the doctor, and they were willing to give us medication that actually works against a parasite. And, yes, you may lose some weight, good for you, but if it's not treated long term, you could go into cardiac arrest, you can have blindness, seizures, and it's a pretty long list.
Yeah, no, I mean, even as we drive by that same park, our kids will point to the park and be like, "That's where the worms are," and I'm like, "Yep, sure is." But still, when I saw this article, it's the very first thing that popped in my head when it said parasite cleanse. I'm like, "You have got to be kidding me! People are doing this to try and cleanse stuff out of their body by using parasites." Because again, I don't know why that factoid stuck in my head about the Victorian era tapeworm parties and stuff like that. But still, I was like, here we go again. And then luckily, as I'm reading the article, it's anti-parasite food. But how plausible that it works and stuff like that. Obviously, if you feel you've been exposed to a parasite, go to a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we saw this article, and because of the the spin on it, it caught my eye, and we wanted to bring it to you. So thanks so much for tuning into Azimuth Podcast. Please stay tuned after these messages.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our show with all the stories we share, we would love your support.
And it's as easy as clicking that subscribe or follow button. This will ensure you never miss an episode and keeps us bringing you these important stories. Your support makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast family.
Thanks, and keep tuning in.